books. Can't escape from the team, called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, I'm just getting started over here. Thanks a lot, guys. Great job with the show, man. What a night, what a morning here on the Sports Money Network. Hopefully, you were just here watching UFC from Macau. We just saw Petr Yan win that main event in pretty convincing fashion. Obviously, here over Davison Figueiredo in that bantamweight bout. Yan gets it done here, and guys had a pretty fun night. I had a pretty fun night. I told them I'd get over there, but I've got 12 pages of games still to try to get through here, maybe in about 90 minutes. Hopefully we picked the best ones. We knew we'd be a little tardy coming in. There won't be much roundup from yesterday. We'll probably just get right to the show. Hello, and thank you, everybody, for coming over here to the Morning Steam Show. I'm Ramon Scott, coming to you from Racetown, Las Vegas, home of F1 this weekend, and of course, all of our sports action today. We've got a ton of college football, including that early start, man, the big one of the season so far. Who'd have thunk it? Indiana and Ohio State. We'll get a little preview of that, and maybe a dozen games here. I'll touch on the best of the NBA tonight. And also hockey, big NHL card. It's hockey night. We'll try to touch on the best ones, and maybe we'll sneak in a few college basketball games after last night's action. But I told the guys I'd come on. But man, we had a good night in college football. We won our NHL pick. We had a couple winners in NBA. In college basketball, I was either right on or way off. The ones we won, it felt like we smashed, and the ones I lost, felt like I was being lapped out there. So want to make sure got a good card here today. Real quick, I'm just going to do my plug. I've got my best plays up over at winnable.com. You can check me out over there and get my best plays for the early action in college football. And I'm going to follow that up all day with all of my best picks here in major U.S. sports. Guys are handicapping some soccer over there as well. We just have Premier League, more action coming up top of the hour here with a handful of games from the Premier League. I do see a lot of the championship league. We're seeing some cancellations here, some weather conditions today. Not all the games, but we have seen already a few cancellations in championship here today. Let's see. I guess just one, maybe some other one also in Portsmouth and Blackburn. I see here was just postponed within the last few minutes or so. Maybe it was already going to be canceled. But anyways, check me out over at winnable.com. Get my best plays for today in all major sports for just a couple of bucks. Check me out there over at Winnable. You can use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off my premium pick packages. I had 4 winners on the card, on the main card. I did have some undercard winners, but I could only send out main card on that. I think Jim said it the best, man. When you get kind of the conditions that you had over there, or at least the type of card, there was some volatility in that UFC card. How about on the ladies' side? Two huge dogs come in, really some of the biggest underdogs of the season, really of the year here in November. Yesterday at the fights in Macau, we saw basically a $4 or $5 come in, and then also another one on the ladies' side on the main card, a $7 or $8 dog come in. So there was some volatility for sure in that card over there, and the guys did a great job, man. That was really entertaining, and had hey, good thing they had a few cocktails there. I wouldn't want to try to pronounce those names sober. Guys, you did a great job. I'm teasing you, but really enjoyed our coverage. And if this is your first time with me, hello and welcome to the show. I'm here every day at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, previewing the sports betting action, just like we're going to do here right now after I say hello to my friends rolling in here right now. Joe T was here first, patiently waiting, and he opened the doors here. Moneyball gave us a pick, and hopefully he's still around, but he was in here early. And please, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money Network, here on YouTube. And was great to see also Dan over there joining the guys on the show. Hopefully we get more Dan here on the Sports Money Network. Curtis is here today. Jermaine also. Bobby Mack was over there. He was in a duck race. I don't know. I thought I was in the duck race. I didn't see me in the duck race. I put my one. I never put a one in the chat, and I did today. Jermaine, hello. Truth Teller is here. He's got the slogan, sports money is money. Joe W is here. Want to say hello to ZC33 here as well. Nasty Nate's ready to get that money. And there's Keith. He also had 7 winners today. And yeah, I had I just sent out a main card. It was the first time all season I couldn't send out a full card with some of those. I did have Kavanaugh. I had Choi on that early card. You guys aren't concerned with what I didn't send out, but on the main card, we did have that win, Jan over Ricci. There, I said in the chat, Ricci just mailed that one in. I had Jan there. I also had Ulberg over Ozdemir on that main card, and I had Ming Ying Zhang also over Ozzy Diaz, and we had Jan. I had Jan to win via decision on my card here. It wasn't really difficult. It felt like Jan, the near $3 favorite here, I think, when it finally went off. So again, congratulations to the guys actually for that show. We started at 3 in the morning. It was midnight. I haven't been to bed. I just stayed up all the way through. So I really enjoyed the coverage. Thanks a lot again, guys. And man, really special to be able to have you guys lead into it here today. Wine Time. Hello, Wine Time. That was awesome. Seeing your pictures last night from your high school action there with your friend. And I saw his highlight. That was just terrific. RVD 420 here as well. And Doge is here. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being patient, everyone. I probably should just get rolling with the show, but let me just get everyone in here. Lando, got 60 of you in here already. So my strategy worked coming in off of their show last night. And Julian's here. Sharon is here as well. Jake Dye, hello and thank you. Zoe Faye is here. Thank you, Zoe. Got that Yan parlay. Appreciate that. Elliot Jameson. So, some regulars, but some new names as well. We know Elliot's been around the block. Oldie's been around the block, and Public Enemy as well. Thanks a lot, guys, for everyone being in here. And I'll just get rolling, man. We'll recap anything that went down last night as we go along. Like I said, I don't know if I want to recap some of my college basketball yesterday. Maybe I'll just, hey, you know what? They always say, your record this and hey, I'm only going to talk about the winners here. So yesterday, premium pick winners for me, UTSA over Temple. I also had the under in the Purdue-Michigan State game yesterday. And in hockey, we did have the Jets over the Penguins under. That's what we had. Jets Penguins under. I know we gave out the Pens on the show and the Jets rocked them, but also we did have the Sabres yesterday, or I think it was yesterday here. All right, hey, there's steam rolling in. It feels like the show is just going to be a lot of steam play with all the basketball. But let me get this one to you real quick. Just moving right now is, interestingly enough, Colorado and Florida, they're steaming the under. So value hunters here might be all over this one. If this one goes down to 6, it's going to be hard even for average Joe like me to stay off of the over in this one in Colorado and Florida. I mean, these guys have been going over more than some of the teams around the league, and this series has always been an over. So, well, they're steaming the under here. I might just be square there now. If it's going to be 6, how am I going to not want to take the over there in Colorado and Florida today? Like I said, we picked about 8 games here in the NHL, so let's just get rolling with the show. There's college football, and hopefully I picked the right ones. You're welcome to comment on any game on the card here today, but we're going to get right to it and get started here with SMU taking on Virginia in it looks like a decent game here, of course, with SMU. They are favored by 10, but just wanted to touch on this one right now because it's such a key game here, obviously, for SMU today. In fact, I'm seeing a move to an 11-point favorite right now. We did get word here. I think that Elijah Roberts, the great defensive end for SMU, the good defensive end, let me be fair to his abilities, but he has been upgraded here to probable in this game. SMU about an 11-point favorite here right now, and the total 55.5. Hey, check out the consensus report under the community tab. I think it's there. If not, it is under my subscription packages over at Winnable, but Virginia was getting the attention here of handicappers today, and I think I'm going to roll with them a little bit here. I like Virginia maybe to get this money. We're getting double digits here, and with I think this one may end up. The Steam came in on the under. The Steam also came in on SMU. We saw them about a 9.5-point favorite, 9 at some openers here, but maybe there's been a little bit of buyback at some of the square shops here. I'm showing the sharp books are hanging out closer to 11, while the square books are mostly the brick and mortar books, if you know what I mean, are hanging around with a 10 here. So maybe there is some sharp square action here, but I don't know if many people are going to necessarily want Virginia, but I'm going to be on them here, getting the points at home. Here in this one, I don't think SMU's been very, very strong. They've also been favored in some games and haven't always gotten the money here so far. In some of these games anyway, where maybe they were just getting a little bit too inflated here. So this one's a little bit close for me here, but I'm going to end up on the dog here with Virginia. Virginia is 3-1 against the spread so far as an underdog, and SMU is 3-4 as a favorite so far. That's just going to give me the edge. I got the premium on the total, so I got to go to the side here, and it's probably close. But like I said, paid handicappers for the most part, they're on Virginia by about a 2-1 margin here today. So flies in the face a little bit of that steam that came in, but also steam on SMU and the under. I'm going to take Virginia here in this one, and I hope I don't go too fast for anyone there. But again, your plays are welcome, and all you have to do. We still haven't hit our consensus parlay, but we're going to try it again today. We had a 4-teamer yesterday. Didn't get there. Maybe we kind of forced it, but we wanted to have a winner. So hopefully Thomas is here. Hopefully we'll get some consensus here, but not much here in this one. But Bobby Max with me. He likes Virginia here. And I think that was it. Oh, most are picking Virginia here, plus 10. And Elliot, ready for that big ECU game? Thank you, Elliot. All righty. Let's keep it going. Yeah, maybe SMU. I'm not going to fault them a little bit there, but all right, we got to keep it going right now. We're going to go fast here on some of these. I just had to pick this one because most of them are going to be, you know, the major conferences here, but this looks like a pretty tight matchup right now with Jacksonville State. And I'm seeing some movement right now too. Sam here in this one. The reported steam did come in on the over here as it's moved from maybe an opener of about 55 up now to 57 here with these two teams. But Sam comes in 8-2, Jacksonville State 7-3. Big game in this conference here today. So for me, I'm going to take Jacksonville State now that they've moved down to a 5.5-point choice. I think that's the direction I want to go with these two teams today. And like I said, you see Jacksonville State, they've been on a winning streak here right now in conference play, no doubt. They did fail to cover the last two games, but they were laying 9.5 and 12.5 to Louisiana Tech and FIU. I'm going to try them here now that it's under a touchdown. I'm going to take Jacksonville State in this one. All right, Elliott maybe going under here with that increased number. Let's move on and get into some of the bigger games here right now today with Connecticut taking on Syracuse in this one. You've got Connecticut coming in 7-3. You got Syracuse coming in 7-3 as well. I've shown handicappers mostly favoring Connecticut in this one, paid professionals, if you will, liking Connecticut here plus these points. We may see some 10.5s out there right now. And let me see, total here moving a little bit down to 42 at some spots. Maybe the sharper books are starting to move a little bit lower. I'm showing a range here actually of 42 under at a few books, and then there's still some I'm sorry, you guys, not 42. Do I have the wrong total? I just have the wrong total on the graphic here, right? 54.5. I'm sorry about that, gang. Let me gather my bearings a little bit. So excited here after the broadcast with the boys. So all right, for me in this one, I'm gonna have to look to I think I'm gonna look to the total here in this one with Connecticut and Syracuse. But let me get your plays. Let me get your play in this one. There we go. I'm ready now. Syracuse has won 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two. You guys are starting to get rolling here right now. Nate had SMU in the first half back there on that other game. And Dana Delp is on Connecticut here, getting these points. Here's Elliott on Connecticut. Wow, look at this Connecticut action here. Robert McCormick is on the over in this one. But Elliott is going to go under. All right. Connecticut's definitely been going a little bit under here of late. You look at what these two are doing. I mean, you're looking at teams that are kind of trending to the under. I'm going to have to go with Elliott here in this one. Nasty Nate was on UConn here, but I'm going to grab the under with Connecticut and Syracuse here. I have a premium on the side, so maybe I didn't hit on that one too much, but do want to cover some of these big ones, and there's none bigger than this today. There might be one game that's kind of bigger, but doesn't feel like it's as big as this one. I'm talking about the Army Notre Dame game, of course, but heck, you got incredible Indiana coming in here. There's no joke, right, with what's going on with Indiana. A lot of people want to bang on that schedule. Now that this game has come to a head here today, and talking about yeah, maybe they've played the easier part of the schedule. That's the problem we're getting into with these huge conferences, right? You don't play all of your teams. So they probably should divide them into divisions, still have the championship game be a division championship, because it just doesn't seem fair when you're playing a completely different schedule as some of the other teams in the same conference. Yeah, there are always going to be some common opponents, and that helps you handicap too, but it does seem a little bit strange right now in the landscape of college football how some of this is working out. But here's the thing, right? So even though Indiana maybe's had the softer schedule of the teams, and they come in, 10-0, 7-0 overall in the Big Ten, and Indiana has their one loss, of course. to the Ducks. So, what are you guys going to do here? I'll let you kind of uh, go over this one a little bit with the comments in the chat. But what I was going to say about the way Indiana's being perceived in this game, right? They still crushed all those teams, whoever they were. They've dominated them for the most part. So this is the first time all year that Indiana's been an underdog. So maybe the schedule was that easy, and once they got on a roll, they weren't going to be underdogs for very much longer. Indiana, though, just 5-10 against the spread in their last 15 as a road underdog, but that goes back a long time. So I just thought a little bit interesting there. Indiana is 17-10 against the spread right now in their last 27, coming off of a win under Cinetti. So far, 17-6 in Big Ten play against the spread. Ohio State has won the last 4 games so far right now by a margin of 76-7. So they're 24-15 against the spread as a home favorite. Ohio State 11-6-2 against the spread, coming off of a win. So here's the catch: Ohio State's won 24 straight meetings between these two teams, but this is an Indiana team like we've never seen before, no doubt about it. So, all right, go ahead in the chat. I know everyone's going to have a pick on this one. I got a pick on this one, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's my paid play, baby. But we'll tell you tomorrow if you don't subscribe to my. But anyways, I'm going to take the under as my play. I think the under could have been the premium play. It feels like to me here. We're seeing some steam coming in. We'll pass along to you here right now as soon as we get the plays. Let's go hear from the chat in this big game today. It's at it's at 6 Eastern. I don't know what time it is. It's at noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific here on the West Coast. Thomas is our Ohio correspondent. He's got the under with me, and Elliot likes the Bucks here to win. And I think Thomas says, I got to go with Indiana here, even against his Buckeyes in this one. It's a lot of points, right? You got to figure Indiana's going to have a great shot here to compete. Robert's on the over, but Dana's on the under. Public Enemy's on the over, and Dana's on the Hoosiers. Elliot's going over. Thank you, Billy, for stopping by here, and we'll catch you later on. Thank you, Billy, so much. Great to have him here, and he's got some action for us. More MMA. Heard Jim talking on the telecast there, and I did pop over across the street to check things out and see how their UFC coverage was going. I didn't do anything in the contest. 7 winners wasn't going to get it done last night. M. Looks is on the under. Joe W. is on Ohio State in the first half here. And all right. I think that's going to do. Jake here, OSU and the under here. He likes them to come in and dominate in this big game. Handicappers are heavy on the under here in this one. And also, they're favoring Indiana by a pretty good margin. I'd say it's probably at least 2-1 or stronger here. It feels like today with Indiana. So I'm going to take the under as my play in the big game today with Indiana and Ohio State. The widely reported steam did come in on the over here in this one. All right, let me take a look here, maybe get a little note here. No, I'm not worried about. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's get some steam in right now before we continue on. We got some college basketball steam to report. The bulk of our college basketball coverage will be just the report of the line moves here. And I've got Southern Utah on the move. This one's being played in San Diego. They're taking on Idaho. Southern Utah was a 3.5-point favorite. They're up to 4.5 here. Southern Utah is our first reported steam play here on the morning steam. In college basketball, at least here this morning. And also, just a little while ago, more college basketball with Coastal Carolina and Alabama A&M. We saw some steam here to the under with Coastal and Alabama A&M. just a little while ago. Here, the key on some of these extra board games are kind of late coming to market, so it's going to be pretty loose there, I think, on some of those lines and line moves here. But the steam on Coastal and Alabama A&M to the under. All right, let's keep it rolling here right now. Thank you, Cameron. Great to have you stop here in the chat and give us that $9.99. Thank you, Cameron. Wow, what a pleasure and an honor to have that. Okay, here we go. Next up, another decent one. It looks like to me. I'm going to have to touch on it with Western Kentucky taking on Liberty here as we kind of moved out of that noon window here. This one's at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific. You got Liberty here, a 1-point favorite right now, and the total at about 56 here in this one. Look, Western Kentucky's been a pretty strong cover, I believe, so far this season. And you look at right now, they come in at 7-3 straight up, and Liberty comes in at 7-2 straight up right now. So pretty good ball game. This one only could get on ESPN Plus, but just figured where these two teams are in their conference, this looks like a pretty significant game here. But Western Kentucky's been the team cover in numbers this season, as Liberty continues to be overrated for the most part. It feels like Western Kentucky is 3-1 against the spread as an underdog, but as a and again, there are an underdog now at -1. They definitely had maybe a pick 'em. Maybe Western Kentucky was favored. It might be more fair to look at Liberty 1-4 against the spread at home, just 2-7 against the spread overall. For me, I'm going to move to the under here in this one with Western Kentucky and Liberty. Also, just moments ago, some steam here on an early game, I believe. Game number 131, Central Florida and West Virginia. We're seeing some steam here right now coming in on this one on the under with Central Florida and West Virginia. It was, 61. No, it was as high as 64. And again, value hunters galore here. Maybe, Central Florida and West Virginia, there's been some overs here with these two teams. Maybe a little bit of chill here. And this one, I'm seeing pressure to the under here, handicappers to the under as well. But there's no doubt that you'd think on the surface it looks like a higher scoring game, but you got to take note of that. We're not previewing it here with Central Florida and West Virginia, but the steam is coming in on the under in that one. And man, down to 60 here, it looks like. Also, just right now, moving on the under here, or on the over right now with Tulsa and South Florida. This one's heading to 61 or higher. It was 60.5, but we're seeing widely reported steam right now come in on Tulsa and South Florida to the over. All right, let's see here. Western Kentucky, yeah, we went with the under in this one. Let's see if we have anything from the chat. Western Kentucky plus the points here for Elliot. Maybe Jake likes Western Kentucky. Elliot says, give me Western Kentucky, and good morning to Tom Reghard in the chat today. All right, now we're getting into some games here. Maybe even not the best of the lot, but always got to talk Colorado football here, it feels like. And man, who wants to fade Colorado at this point, it feels like? Doesn't feel like something you necessarily want to do. They might be, I don't know, feels like playing the best that they have, given their overrated status a lot of the times, right? But man, 8-2, 6-1 right now in conference. It's really starting to work out. And you can't wait to see what happens at the end of the season with these guys, with Hunter and Shador and Dion giving us he's going to stay in Colorado, but I don't know. I just got to see where these guys end up. So, all right, Colorado here a slight favorite in this one. Kansas just 3-4. It's been a disappointing season, I think, for Kansas from what they were expected. They've won 3 of 4 now, so they're definitely starting to pick it up here. It feels like 5 of their losses have been by a touchdown or less. They are great in the role of a home dog under Leopold, 17-7-1 against the spread, and also 7-4 against the spread as a home dog. They've covered in 4 straight games right now. But Colorado here certainly strong here, one of the best teams in the nation right now against the number here. What is it? I think they've covered all of them. It feels like. Right now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even have that in my notes here. I kind of want to check that out right now, but the way they're on a roll at this point, I think they are undefeated against 2 losses against the spread. Show them to me. It feels like here. It just feels like they've been making money for us left and right. I'm going to try them again. I can't get off Colorado. If anything, maybe the resurgence of KU here has kind of perked the interest of the underdog players here, but I'm going to try Colorado again right now. KU is 3-2 as an underdog right now against the spread this season, so this will be their big game. It feels like right now. I mean, Kansas sitting at 4-6 straight up, so this feels like it's the big game of the season for the Kansas Jayhawks. Obviously, it is here right now, going up against the Buffs. Anything from the crew here in this one? I'm kind of looking for a play on the total here for me, so I can maybe get another bet down. Let's see what we got.
Final.
Colorado and KU. All right. Oh, did I miss the Western Kentucky plays in there, gang? Sorry about that. If I did, Justin and Public Enemy was on them. Thomas is on KU here in this one. And let's see what else. Colorado for M Looks as well. Elliot's on Colorado here. We've got some Colorado here. Justin says, give me the Bucks in that other game. We'll put it up there in the big game for sure. All right, give me the Buffs here in this one. Next up will be Penn State taking on Minnesota here. Penn State pretty big here, I get it, but we got to touch on the Nittany Lions. It feels like here with these two. And right now we're showing we're now into, this is the 3:30 block at this time. This is the 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 block here. So was that last game, but you got Penn State here 11.5 on the road, and the total 45.5. Look, I mean, Penn State's awesome. We know that, but getting these points at home might not be a terrible spot for the Golden Gophers here in this one. See if you guys have a play or comment here. We're getting underway to start these games right now in the EPL here, just minutes away. If you guys were looking to get in on that action here, we saw some plays from the guys on the show. Thought that was great. All right, let me I have a few notes here on this game, certainly just having a little bit of recovery here or breather. Maybe I'm taking a break here. All right, here we go. For Penn State, of course, they're 9-1 overall, 6-1 in conference play. They've looked pretty good over the last 2 games. Penn State 4-0 straight up, 3-1 against the spread so far on the road this season. For Penn State, they're in a pretty good role as a favorite here. 22-13 against the spread as a road favorite. 56-38 long term as a favorite with Coach Franklin. Minnesota's won 4 of their last 5 coming in, but that didn't stop the widely reported steam from coming in on Penn State that went all the way up to 12.5. But I think it's interesting to note that the 11.5s are in play here right now. Handicappers seem to be pretty strong on the under in this one, although I will say they might be a bit mixed when it comes to the side. I've got Minnesota here in this one, plus the points against Penn State. The home team has won and covered the last 4 meetings between these two, and Penn State has lost 31-26 and 24-10 in their last two visits to Minnesota. Maybe those Penn State teams were, not as good as this one. Maybe they were equivalent, and maybe the Minnesota team was maybe even a little bit better in those games here. They've made a nice recovery here right now. The over has come in 5 of the last 8 meetings overall, but I'm going to try Minnesota here against the Nittany Lions. All right, Colorado was a consensus play, so we're underway with our consensus here. I'm going to mark that right now. So we don't have to force it today. There's plenty of games, and I think we'll be here for about another hour. I want to try to get off the air before the games kind of start. So it's going to be kind of an abbreviated show, quite honestly. I told the guys to stay on the air, give me a little break, but we do want to cover all the great games. Here's Thomas on Minnesota. Elliott's on Minnesota here as well in this one. And I think Justin's saying Ohio State to rock there a little bit. If I'm reading it right.
Final.
In the chat.
Final.
And old E, thank you. All right, let's move on here right now with BYU taking on Arizona State. Oh, let's see what this steam is coming in. It's college football, so I think we should mention it. It is a game. I think we got this one covered. I'm not sure actually. It is Vanderbilt and LSU. Steam coming in right now on the under. We saw this one about 54 earlier in the week, earlier today maybe even, but right now we're heading south of 53 to 52 and a half or 52 here right now with Vanderbilt and LSU. The widely reported steam had already come in on Vanderbilt in that game, and I tell you, experts are heavy on the Commodores there in that game, getting the points from LSU. Okay. Anyways, gang, BYU taking on ASU here in Tempe, and ASU is a 3.5 point favorite, and the total here is 50 in this one. I'm showing Capper is maybe shaded towards Arizona State here, laying the points. BYU, of course, lost to Kansas last week, just 17-13 for their first loss of the season. Spoiled their plans, I think, moving forward right now, and a big loss last week. They play close games, no doubt about it, and they've been clutch. Have the Cougars for ASU. They've won 3 in a row, and 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. They're pretty good as a home favorite under Dillingham, 4-1 against the spread. Also 11-5 against the spread. Most of that conference play was in the Pac-12, but still doing a pretty good job here. 5-2 here so far. So you got 2 teams that came into this conference, and they're kind of shaking things up a little bit. All right. These 2 teams really even haven't met in this millennium. So the Sun Devils 5-0 straight up and 5-0 against the spread at home so far this season. And they're 4-0 in games decided by 7 points or less. All right. Go ahead and type your play in while I pass along another steam move here on another game that Kentucky is getting steamed right now against Texas. This one seems like a pretty popular play among professional handicappers today. Kentucky taking the points here. They were getting 20, but they're going to be getting 19 here, it looks like here right now. Kentucky's taking the steam in that big game against Texas. I say big game, as big game for Texas, and Kentucky can play spoiler here, it feels like. All right. BYU, ASU, what do you guys have here in this one? And we're going to have Justin has BYU as his top play today. Elliot, those on ASU. That might be it from you guys in the chat here in this one. I've got the over here with these 2, BYU and ASU. I'm going to take the over here in this one. Let's see. I think I had some notes on the over under. BYU has gone over in 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. I think, like I said, with the Sun Devils, they're averaging 35 points at home in those 5 games. Like I said, straight up and against the spread, Arizona State has been doing the job here right now. So, all right, but BYU coming off the loss, so we'll see. All right, let's go to the SEC right now and take a look at Texas A&M here going up against Auburn. You got A&M on the road in this one, a 2-point favorite at Auburn here. And let's take a look right now. Pull it up. All right, here we go with A&M and Auburn. Man, I got so many games. I don't know where to go with. 1 minute I'm looking at a basketball game, and I'm wondering why they're playing somebody else. So here we go though with A&M. Look, they haven't been very good against the spread. We know that this year, but Auburn just 4-6 straight up and 3-4 straight up at home. So, but A&M for their great record, right? 8-2 straight up. 6-2 straight up as a favorite. They are 3-7 against the spread so far this season. So they've just been overrated in a lot of these roles here right now. This is in the window, I believe, the 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific here in this one. So can A&M still kind of take care of business here? Kind of a light number here against Auburn, just laying 2 points, but that's up from the opener of 1.5 or 2. So maybe it's a little bit public action here with Texas A&M, but I'm going to try Auburn to win this game actually here at home. I'm going to be on the Tigers here, plus 2 points or so in this one. They are 2-1 as an underdog this year, Auburn here, and Texas A&M. We talked about their woes at 3-5 against the spread as a favorite here. Handicappers, we lean towards Auburn here in this one, and I'm going to as well. All right. Remember, one thing we always do here on Saturdays on the morning steam is talk a little FCS football, and I've got the moves starting to roll in. And these are the most susceptible games that if I give out the steam here, a lot of times you'll get CLV, even if you've already missed out on a point or two. They quite often can continue to move in one direction because these lines in FCS are so vulnerable. So Stonehill and Robert Morris, we're seeing steam to the over here with Stonehill and Bobby Morris. And it's going over here right now from 46.5 probably to 47.5 here right now, Stonehill and Robert Morris. All right, a couple more comments here. I've got Thomas on Auburn. I've got Elliot on Auburn, and I'm on Auburn. How about it? All right, here's another good one. It's a big one. We know it. We've been waiting for it with Notre Dame taking on Army here in this one. We talked every week when we were previewing all the games, it seemed like, about how Army and Navy would both get their shot at Notre Dame. Yeah, Navy, we know they're not the same as Army for sure this year, but tell you what, Notre Dame here down to a 14-point favorite. I say down to a 14-point favorite. It was definitely higher here this week as opening 16, 17 or so at some spots. Some of the openers came a little bit later and opened it closer to this number. The widely reported steam was on the over in this one. Okay, if that's what the sharps are going to do, but I know handicappers aren't going to be looking too closely at the over in this one. You got you know what Army's going to be about. And even though Notre Dame is playing pretty terrific, it's funny, right? We always half the years we're making fun of Notre Dame because they're Notre Dame, and if they lose a couple of games, it's a big joke. This year they've been terrific. No doubt about it. And handicappers are going to prefer Notre Dame in this game today to beat Army here in this one. And yeah, they're stronger than Army or whatever. And I might be a little bit nerdy here, it feels like, in this one, but I'm going to try Army. I feel like I'm in the minority here with this game, but look, Army's not going to make any mistakes, are they? They're going to go down. They're going to. The question is, if you look at this uh, spread, right, and this total here in this one, what's the score going to be? 31 to 31 to 17. That's 48. 28 to 14. That's 42. I think if it gets right in there, I think it's okay for Army here. Now, look, they might not have the back door in them, but Notre Dame will have to still pull away. And Army, I still think they can manipulate themselves, navigate down the field here enough times against Notre Dame. Notre Dame has been awesome, but it does feel like this Army team is just a little bit special. And again, I have a mistake. Maybe I should appropriately put uh, terminology in here, and because otherwise it kind of looks goofy, right? Maybe that should be what it says: Army versus Notre Dame, because this one, of course, is being played in Yankee Stadium. So, yeah, it's going to be a big Notre Dame crowd. It's going to be Army fans too. So, I think that should have been included there. It is actually part of my handicap here that it is a neutral site game for the most part here. So, I'm going to try Army here. I know a lot of I think a lot of experts are more so on Notre Dame in this one, and I want to be contrarian here and say, "Look at me! Oh, thank you to Sports Money is money with our memberships. Hopefully, it's from the money that they won over on the UFC card. They claimed a pretty good night. Most of them did anyway." And Zoe Faye, thank you for your picks in here, Zoe. Appreciate that. Here's Thomas on Notre Dame. Kirk's going to be with me. In fact, no, he's not even. He's not even with me. He's on Army money line, baby. How about it, Kirk? Awesome. I like to see that. And Elliot on Notre Dame here, and Elliot also on the over here in this one. And you know what, Thomas, you're right. I mean, well, I think that's been the big difference, right? Army does do pretty much everything better this year. And, it's funny because I thought, to me, and if you look at the decline a little bit in like Air Force, I was wondering how the teams would fare talking about the NIL era teams, right? Because that's a little bit different situation now, and maybe the gap even gets a little bit bigger when you're talking about Army and Navy and Air Force here and how it relates to NIL. But don't forget this: as the players are getting younger and younger, it seems like, although more players are kind of staying longer, uh, I think Army and the military teams are always going to have an age advantage, if you will, in the games moving forward here. So Elliot says it's going to be a blowout for the Irish. All right. No one picked Army. Well, no, someone did pick Army with me. Kirk Gray did. Or maybe he meant overall, like the talking heads. I do show handicappers running here about 2.5 or 3-1 on Notre Dame here, but they're heavy on the under. And, well, maybe I am too, but please consider subscribing to my picks over on winnable.com. Doge says Notre Dame smash spot. Well, I knew what I was getting into. I knew that I'd be in the minority here in this one. All right, you did hear some steam come across, and let's take a look at a little college basketball here with a big game early. I'm going to mention it now. This one's actually on our preview list. It's a game that starts at 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific here with Marquette and Georgia. We're seeing this one hit to the under right now at it was 154. I have a feeling this one may even get to 152 here with Marquette and Georgia steam to the under in a big college basketball game here early on. I believe they're both undefeated, or maybe one's got one loss here. I'll tell you when I preview it, but I know they're both pretty hot right now with Marquette and Georgia. Cameron on this one. Thanks for that. Don't know, Cameron. Appreciate it. He's got Notre Dame first half and parlay it here. Oh, we've got a goal here for Arsenal right now. Seeing this one come across. Arsenal has scored here just now. All right, let me get my scoreboard up here and see if anything else is going on. I'm not involved with any packages today, probably in the soccer card, but got a few bets for sure. Okay, here we go. Next up with Alabama taking on Oklahoma here. And hey, we could always hope for better when it comes to this matchup here, that Oklahoma would be, a little bit better this year. But hey, this is a big game now all of a sudden for Oklahoma. And we've seen some susceptibility, certainly in Alabama this season with an 8-2 straight up record. Yeah, it's a bummer. Oklahoma, there's, talk. What are we going to do in Oklahoma? We're just 5-5, 1-5 in the SEC, and we're stuck here now in this conference with these guys, or maybe is it just a one-off this season for OU? They've lost 4 straight in conference here, allowing 31 points per game right now. But Alabama not always great as a road favorite, 7-11 the last 18 games. As a road favorite here, but they've gone under in 3 straight games overall under Coach Venables for Oklahoma, 9-14-1 here. So as the SEC against the spread, so has the SEC been a little bit rough on them? Maybe they have. They've also failed 3 straight times as a home underdog here, but man, I really want to be on Oklahoma here and figure this is their big game. Yeah, they can get a 6th win here today, no doubt, if they could pull off an upset, but they are 2 touchdown underdogs. So it's time to pull out all the stops here, it feels like, and they better have some defense ready, if you know what I mean, in this one. I'll take Oklahoma here plus the points. I feel like I'm on the contrarian sides here. Maybe I'm a little bit tilty. Anything here? Of course, Public Enemy, Roll Tide. Elliot's going to be with me in this one. Sooners have been bad. I know what I'm saying here with Oklahoma. I'm painting a pretty bleak picture. Thomas was on Oklahoma, but again, I think I've got a good program still, kind of going all out here today, and that's going to be important to me. And look, Alabama, they can't afford to lose, but all they do need to do is continuing to try to win here and earn their spot here moving forward. Just try to get as many, get these last wins here, it feels like, for Alabama. So give me Oklahoma here, but I'm going to probably be on the total in this one, if you know what I mean. All right. Hopefully, I didn't miss any of your games. I have one more just because it's not one of the best games of the day, that's for sure. But I got to look at the big matchup here in the Big Ten. Yeah. Well, you don't have to travel across the country. You just have to travel across the city here in this one with USC and UCLA tonight. So, one thing about this is a little bit of a side. I probably don't even have time to talk about this type of thing here, but I can't ignore it with the matchup tonight. But USC and UCLA basketball attendance is way, way down right now at home. And basically, through the surveys and everything, what they're figuring out is they want their Pac-12 back in basketball. They don't want to play all these teams. They don't want to watch all their games at 4:30 in the afternoon when they can't watch them. So I know that's a little bit different here, and we'll still get a great crowd for the rivalry game here. Handicappers are pretty much strong on UCLA here in this one, plus these points. Yeah, SC, maybe they're better, but they've lost 4 of their last 6 coming in, and they've been terrible as a road favorite under Lincoln Riley, 2-10 against the spread as a road favorite. And remember, he was terrible as a road favorite before that as well. So I don't want any part of USC here in this one. I kind of want to take them as a premium, but I don't know about the total. I'm just not sure. I'm taking the Bruins here, of course, in this one. The road teams won 4 straight. I don't know what that means in this series in the cross town rivalry here. Overs come in 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. I don't know. Maybe it is going to be kind of a wild one with these two. Trojans won here 48-45 and 43-38 in their last 2 trips to the Rose Bowl. So maybe it could be like that again. Maybe those teams were better on both sides in those games. Not always, but we'll see in this one. And UCLA does have some pretty interesting numbers here right now: 6-3 against the spread. Last 9 as a home underdog. And you know what? Maybe I was critical of their new situation here, but it seems like they're doing a pretty decent job. I'll take the Bruins. Kind of 50-50 whether or not I was going to go premium on the side or total. I like the game a lot tonight, even though both teams have pretty much been bad this year, and maybe this wasn't such a good idea. The two, anchor teams, if you will, of the Pac-12, with all due respect to Oregon and the other schools too. But I mean, when it comes down to the money, it's USC, it's Oregon, it's UCLA, and right now this has not been a good idea. Told you so. All right. Anything from you guys here in this one? UCLA is the play of the day for Doge here, right? And remember that, Thomas, when we were talking about, the making the trips and all that goes into it a little bit, right? Even with Stanford and Cal in there in the ACC there, right? So, all right, let's see here. Elliott will still lay it in this one. And you had it right the first time, Elliott. No doubt, USC is the favorite here on the road, right? It doesn't make much sense. Have they really been that much better? Has the schedule been a little bit more difficult, or are we just kind of saying, hey, it's been a bad season for USC, guys? I think we know that. And look, I like Jordan Mayava better than most of the analysts, or at least the analysts doing, I'm here on the West Coast, so maybe I watch these teams a little more closely, but, and, he was at UNLV last year, so I do like him. And maybe it wasn't so great in his first start. So, it's going to be hard enough just to win the game, much less cover the spread, it feels like. All right. Cameron was saying he won so much money in Macau. That's what he's sending donos in. He's making parlays. If you've had a good morning, let's step on it there a little bit, right? Okay, gang, I hope I didn't leave out any of your favorite games here in this one, but we're trying to make it a little bit of a quick show after the great coverage last night. All right, let's get these NBA games going. I picked the best, I hope, today here in the NBA. Let me touch on a little bit of steam, if I may, real quick. Some just came in here in college football with just moments ago, college steam coming in here on the Maryland Terrapins. How about that? Maryland here taking steam here against Iowa. Man, this one's gone. What has it gone down to here? 4, 3.5 here at this point. I thought the steam was on. Okay, no, I've read it wrong here. Iowa is back up to a 5-point favorite. I was just going off the move over here, and it listed the wrong team, so apologize there. Iowa's back up to a 5-point favorite. It went all the way down, I'm pretty sure, to 3.5. If you're a subscriber, you know what side I was on, and I sent out a different line, not on purpose. I mean, it was the line at the time. So we're seeing Iowa here against Maryland move back a little bit here, and funny, right? Here again, two teams that have produced some overs this year, and the total here is all the way down to 41 right now in that Iowa-Maryland game. Wow. That's saying something, man. We've seen some over, we think of Iowa and you want to automatically think under, but Maryland's had some overs and Iowa's had a few. Okay, let's go NBA, guys. Hope I didn't make it seem like we were previewing that game, but you're welcome to. And Cameron won with the king of kung fu in the fights. Hey, if you don't know what he's talking about, you better have been there with the guys with the UFC coverage. Okay. Oh, I thought I had one more here though. Okay. Charlotte and the Bucks. We're not going to preview this one, so let me get this steam out right now. Charlotte and the Bucks. We've seen the steam come in on the over here with Charlotte and the Bucks. I don't think this one's in our preview. It was as low as 223. Now 224 and a half or higher here with Charlotte and the Bucks. Those two teams have played some unders when they've faced off against one another. Bucks are a big favorite in that one. Charlotte's done a nice job covering some numbers. We know the Bucks have been a crummy team and spread team. All right, let's go. Let's go. Steam came in just right now, a few minutes ago anyway, on Utah on the ice here tonight against Pittsburgh. We saw steam come in on Utah here. They're going to move to the favorite role in the game against the Penguins tonight. That team hasn't done very well when they were Arizona against the Penguins. Here's steam and some college football extra board. Long Island and Wagner. We're seeing a steam move here right now under 44 and a half in the matchup here with Long Island and Wagner at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. This one was 44 and a half. It's down to 44 or lower here. Long Island and Wagner football. I better start saying it. Well, obviously 44. Okay. Let me keep it rolling here right now, and we got to get to these games, all right? With Charlotte and Milwaukee here in this one. I've kind of skipped over a couple of games. I'm sorry, Pistons and Magic, kind of skipped that. I know the Knicks Jazz game there at the top of the board, but Jazz obviously having some issues, and it's a big road favorite role for the Knicks. So let me continue on here with maybe games that might be a little bit I don't know about closer, but at least the Magic are 10 and 7, and the Pistons have done a nice job so far with their 7-10 record coming into this one. These two teams have had some unders here when they've faced one another, and Orlando's really had the best of it in the series with the Pistons. Right now, so far, you got the Magic 6-1 against the spread at home so far this season, but Pistons haven't been too bad on the road, and they're 7-3-1 as an underdog so far. So these two teams are probably in profitable roles here. Handicappers pretty much like Detroit as one of their strongest plays of the day here. So from what I've seen from handicappers, but the Magic have covered, let's see, 5 straight at home with that 6-1 spread record. They're also 5-0 against the Pistons, but man, I got to try the Pistons here. I think I failed with them, if I'm not mistaken, in that game against Charlotte a couple of nights ago. They ended up losing that game on the road, and well, they're continuing on here, and I will try the Pistons here, plus the points in this one against the Maj. See if you got anything here. I got Elliott on the Pistons, and Jake says take Maryland here. Iowa's his team, and maybe an under here. Yep, they're looking a little bit stale right now on offense. Typical Iowa, right, Jake? Got to. They're gonna win. They're gonna have to win the game like 15-12 or something like that, like last year and the year before, it feels like. All right. And think Elliott here. You're covering that game, Elliott. You're covering that game. We're out of there on. We're here now. Let me continue on. One more I want to look at here. I've skipped over the Grizzlies and the Bulls a little bit, and also the Hornets and the Bucks. I think we just talked enough about them, but I do want to come back here to Portland after failing with them again last time. I did try Portland last night on the road. I know they're going to be on a back-to-back here, and maybe they haven't looked as great here these last two games after their little winning streak, but man, at 13 here right now, and I know it was rough last night losing the game to the Rockets, so they're coming right back and playing again back to back here, and I'm going to think it will not be a 28-point victory again for the Rockets. I want to come right back with Portland tonight to hang in there in this one. Look, Rockets are great at covering numbers right now. 8-2 against the spread at home, 12-5 overall. One of the best money-making teams you're going to find here currently in the NBA. But Portland, they're improved defensively this year. They didn't get it going on offense at all in that game last night. So I think they'll solve it here a little bit and maybe be able to get to the money here tonight. These two teams do go over. Last night it wasn't under for sure, but these teams, I believe, let me see here in the head-to-heads. No, I guess they're split. Maybe I'm just going off memory there, but Houston has pretty much controlled this series against the spread as well. But I've got to try Portland just because of the back-to-back playing the same team. I don't expect the same exact thing to happen. I think Portland here gets going tonight and stays in the game with the Rockets. Elliott's going to go with Houston. All right, the Warriors are going to be on the road here against the Spurs in this one. So you got the Warriors 12-3. The Spurs, hey, they're 8-8. I think that's great. They've won 2 straight here right now. San Antonio beat Utah, and they beat OKC. They last 2 games, so I think they've looked pretty good. Got Golden State here. The question here is what's going to happen with Wembanyama today, but I think it's looking positive here. He's moved to questionable here tonight with that knee soreness. So also Johnson questionable, Vassell questionable. So maybe the Spurs will be just a little bit healthier here tonight. The Warriors also played last night, right, in that game against the Pelicans, and they did not cover. I took them yesterday here on the show, but I'm going to try the Spurs here plus the points. Look, it's all the way down to 3 here right now. To me, that's might be a little bit of a tell. The Warriors opened as high as a 4.5 or 5-point favorite. The move is definitely on the Spurs here. Spurs are 6-4 against the spread at home this season. Warriors 10-5 against the spread. We know they're doing it and doing it well. But I'm going to try the Spurs here as a home dog in this one. These two teams maybe have trended over for the most part, especially the Warriors, 7-3 to the over in their last 10. And the Spurs are 6-4 to the over in their last 10. But Golden State 4-6 to the under on the road, and San Antonio 5-6 to the under at home. Maybe it goes under. I don't know. I'm just going to take the Spurs here as a dog in this one. All right. And Elliot says Golden State minus the points here. -3. That's fine. There's no doubt. I can't give it as a premium. I'm going to take the Spurs pretty much no matter what, but I'm not getting the best of it anymore. And so I'm going to move it to my show here. Want to say hello and good morning to my partner, VB MMA Picks. And I think one thing I do want to say right now with VB joining me here in the chat, that we're going to be broadcasting here VB's show that I've been with him now for several years doing our MMA previews. We're going to add that to the coverage here on the Sports Money Network. We'll still have First Strike every week with the guys previewing their 4 best bets. And how about shout out Jeff M with that upset today, also with Mata in that first fight. Great job, Jeff, on that one. Man, that was a good pick there. Jeff gave out Mata there. So great job in that one, Jeff. But we're going to move also VB MMA picks. You'll still, if you're watch that show, it'll still be on the channel that we have set up. But we're adding to our UFC. What would they call it? The schedule. The here. So thank you, VB, for all of your partnership over the last few years. And I'm proud to announce that we'll be simulcasting here on the Sports Money Network, starting with the next event. And we're already all approved with Mike. And I just want to thank the other guys too, because we do have a great show here, new show that's taken off fast. But we want to get good programming, and we are UFC centric a little bit here on Sports Money. And we're going to add my show with VB MMA picks, and we always have a top analyst as well. Many of the names that you'll recognize here if you haven't seen this show before, right? VB, we do get a little time off. I knew you'd help me out on that. So we'll be here that week, I guess, on December the 4th or 3rd or whichever day we get it together here. We'll have that show. And that show airs live here on the that'll air live on the Sports Money Network. So thanks for popping in, VB, to help me with that announcement here today. And again, catch it now here. VB MMA Picks with Ramon Scott, with my expert analyst, VB, and his guest each week. Thanks, VB. Appreciate it. All right, I got one more to look at here in the NBA, and well, it's a good one with the Nuggets and the Lakers here tonight. And we saw Jokic kind of, when his return here, right? So it does feel like now back on target here. Congratulations, Nikola Jokic there. And how did he celebrate? Well, they did lose the game, but it wasn't Jokic's fault. He continued to dominate there, but they did lose that game last night to Dallas, 123-120. All Jokic did was have 33 points on 13 of 22 shooting, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists. Everyone cashed their double-double prop with Jokic yesterday, and now the total, let me fix this. Here, the total here at 235 or so here in this one. So this feels like a good spot for me to take a team that has dominated this series, and that team would be the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have been really a thorn in the Lakers' side over the last 3 seasons. They've won 12 of the last 13 meetings between these two teams overall. So they're getting the points here tonight. Please and thank you. I'll take 4.5 here with the Nuggets. Maybe I like the total, but I'm going to go with the Nuggets, give out the Nuggets as my play here in this one. Lakers, no doubt, strong season so far, but they did lose. Remember, last time out to Orlando at home, 119-118 to stop that losing streak. And the Lakers, they are just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. The Nuggets is an underdog, 3-1 this year against the spread. Now we know that Jokic was out, but they're a dog here again with Jokic in the lineup. So I'm going to have to try the Nuggets. Maybe it's a tarp here tonight. Maybe the back-to-back will be too much and they'll get them. But I'm going to rely on that season series here, it feels like, for the most part. Elliott says, give me the Nuggets money line and the under. I will say the widely reported steam did come in on the over, and we've seen a lot of overs here with these two teams, but this number is getting a little bit high there at 235. Nuggets are 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Lakers are 7-4 to the over as a favorite. That's it for the NBA. Keep it rolling here right now with a massive hockey card. It feels like we're just going to go with the score or the picks. Here, we want to wrap this one up here before the top of the hour. A little college basketball coming in right now. Here's a steam play to pass along to you to get your FCS action here this morning. And I've got Lafayette and Lehigh. The the big game with Lafayette and Lehigh here today. And what do they play for? I think I'm gonna say I have to look it up, but I want to say, isn't this the game for the Monon Bell? You guys, if I've got this one right here, I know my stuff here. Let me see. Let me see here. What do they play for? The Monon Bell, right? Lafayette and Lehigh. Let me see here what the trophy is on that one. I think I have it right. Oh, okay. They play for the MVP trophy. Who plays Lehigh, you guys, for the Monon Bell? Man, darn it. Any experts out there? I forget now. My brain is going south on me. All right, here we go with the match. Oh, I've missed one here. Kraken and the Kings. I want to touch on this one. Top of the 407 Eastern and 107 Pacific with the Kraken taking on the Kings here. Kings are $1.70 here in this one. I don't think I want the Kings at that price right now. I'm more apt, I think, to take the Kraken here. These two teams play low-scoring games here of late, so I think that's going to enhance the Kraken's chances at $1.50 here right now. And the Kraken, the way they kind of they're okay on the road for sure. It feels like against division competition here. Let me take a look at this one. Seattle's 4-1 against the puck line the last 5 trips here into LA. You could take a puck line here, I guess. It will be a little bit pricey, no doubt, but I'm just going to take them straight up as a dog here in this one. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under, and we've seen some unders so far with these two right now. And look, this is a good game. They both have 10 wins here right now. Both teams over 500, looking pretty decent. And the Kings are 2-7-1 to the under as a favorite. Seattle's gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. I'm going to take the Kraken, though, here as an underdog in this one. All right. Duquesne and Central Connecticut steam play here under 57 coming in just a few moments ago on the extra board here. Duquesne and Central Connecticut was 57.5, but we're looking here now at about a 57, 56.5. And again, if I can get you these are going to move maybe even further. Proceed with caution, but no doubt, these are much bigger movers when we're talking about these added board games. Next up is the Y. Let me get your picks. Sorry about that, gang. Here, did someone help me out on the Monon Bell? Elliot's on the Kraken, or as I like to call him, the Karen. Philly Eagle Flyer, Kraken, dog and draw. You know, my mom's name was Karen, and she's upstairs, right, up in heaven right now. But you know what? Now looking back on it, she was kind of a Karen, but I loved her for it. Okay, Kraken here for Public Enemy. And she was Karen before Karens were cool, or were they, or before they weren't cool. Elliott Kraken money line there in that one. And it's also recommending Connecticut there. Thank you. All right. See some steam here in college basketball just moments ago. This one is Cincinnati taking on some steam here in their game against Georgia Tech. Pretty good game there. Cincinnati taking the steam at 7.5. They're up to 8 or 8.5 here right now. Cincinnati taking the steam. All right. Wild and Flames here in this one. And well, you look at this, man, think of these two teams. You got to think with Gustafson here expected in goal, and the Wild just out of their minds here at this point, the way they're playing. This one feels like it's going to be a low-scoring game. We're already into the This also at 4 o'clock Eastern and 1 Pacific. Calgary comes in hot as well. They've been playing pretty well here of late with wins over the Rangers, the Islanders, and Nashville. Right now, Calgary looking good here again, but Minnesota certainly on a roll with a couple of wins here over Edmonton and St. Louis, and they've been just terrific this season at 13-3-3. But Calgary's done a nice job, and I think I want to take Calgary here as a home dog in this one. Look, Minnesota's the better team right now, but Calgary has done a nice job and continues to do a nice job here, it feels like. And there's Philly Eagle Flyer with his plays. He's on the Blackhawks, Kraken, Canucks, Caps, Rangers, Jets, a lot of dogs here. Avalanche taking on the Panthers in this one, and I can't help myself. The steam came in on the under. Maybe it is. Maybe this is the game where it's just going to be great goaltending here with Annunen. I know he's probably the better goaltender, and Bob can be great at any moment. But come on, Florida's 13-7 to the over. Colorado's 4-1 to the over as an underdog. 12-7 to the over overall. Now they do have a problem scoring on the road. I get that. The Avalanche have had some issues on the road for sure, scoring goals. But this total is wrong on the screen because it's mostly 6 everywhere right now, right? Yeah, it's 6 over everywhere. So maybe it should be a premium. Maybe I'm thinking it's a tarp, and I don't want to take it as a play, but I don't know. You got two sharp teams here scoring goals. The series is also a big time over. Now, I know they only play a couple of times a year, but 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Florida's 6-1 on the puck line. We've got to plug in one of my devices here. I only keep 3 phones here now that I have that. You wonder sometimes where I'm getting some of those. Elliot was saying I'm great info, but hey, it's all written down here or on computers anyway. So I got to try the over, though, in this one. These two teams are massive overs here, and I'll just say whatever. Team, I'll take the over here. In this one with these two. I will say, so what I was saying though, Avalanche with their scoring issues on the road here, maybe a tough game in this one. Florida, pretty cheap price, it feels like, but they are Avalanche are 2-6 to the under on the road. So just want to make note of that. Hey, college football real quick. San Diego, let me get to this one too. There's a lot of steam. All right. Yale and Fairfield. Total here moving under in college basketball right now with Yale and Fairfield. We're seeing this one at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific. Steam moving to the under here with Yale and Fairfield. Also, college football. San Diego State right now in their game against Utah State. We're seeing some steam here right now to the under 61 or so with San Diego State in their matchup here with Utah State. Utah State, let me get that right. Steam to the under at was 62, now 61, San Diego State and Utah State. Also, just moments ago, we already previewed the game, and it was steam to the over between the Pistons and the Magic. They're up to 207.5 or higher here. That series is a big under, like I said, but right now the steam was going over with Detroit and the Magic. Okay. I'm going over in this one here with the Avalanche and the Panthers. You guys have some plays. Public Enemy is going to do it. Philly Eagle Flyer said first period, both teams to score. First period over 1.5. All right, here we go. Next up, we're rolling through here, hopefully. Devils and Capitals here. This feels like a good one, doesn't it, gang? With the Capitals here at home. Another home underdog. Are really all these road teams that are playing decent teams going to come through and you want to lay some chalk with them here? I don't. I'm going to try the Capitals here. This has been a high-scoring series between these two teams of late. In fact, I want to say, got it here. Here, 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. 6 of the last 7 meetings here in Washington between these two teams have gone over. I'm going to take the Capitals, though, as my play here. We're seeing the total actually 6 over 20. It hasn't hit 6.5 yet, so maybe I'll have a premium here, but I'm going to take the Capitals here right now in this one. Capitals coming off a loss to Colorado last time out, just 2-1. That one at home, but the Capitals lost in a little bit of a shocker. They were actually an underdog in that game, right? When it finally went off. But the Devils come in here having beat Carolina 4-2 last time out. They've won 3 of their last 4. I'm going to try the Capitals, though, here. They're 8-4 as an underdog this season are the Capitals. That's a fact. And they're also 7-3 at home. So give me the Caps here in this one. Capitals 11-6-2 to the over this season. Give me the Caps, though. Okay, keep it rolling here right now. Hello to David Wallace. And Markel has his in college football play. Philly Eagle Flyer. Thank you again. Next up, got the Stars taking on the Lightning here with Ottinger in goal and Vasilevsky here possibly for the Lightning today. We're not going to get too into these goalies here a little bit. Here's some real quick FCS game. You talk about traditional games. How about Yale and Harvard right now? Steam to the under here with Yale and Harvard at 51 is heading down to, looks like 50 here right now with these two. Yale and Harvard steam to the under in the big game, if you will. The other big game, I guess. We didn't preview the big game on our previews. I guess that was a mistake of mine. Of course, Cal and Stanford in the big ACC game, but that's the big game nowadays, right? All right, let's talk about this one real quick with the Stars here on the road against the Lightning here in this one for Dallas. They come in here right now, sitting here at, let me get this one right. I'll make sure I have the line right in this one. Stars here $1.15 and the total 6 over here right now, and I think that's good to go. That number has got to be wrong. There is still some 6.5 under 20s. I like the under, and I'm going under right now, but I'm going to be fair here and call it 6 over 20 in this one. There is a couple of books still with a 6.5 under out there right now, but they might be few and far between. It feels like Dallas 12-6, Tampa 10-6-2 here in this one. You got, Tampa Bay 1-6-1 to the under at home so far. Dallas 4-7-2 to the under as a favorite. So Tampa does pretty well in their matchups in the past with Dallas. They just meet a couple of times a year, but I'm going under here in this one with Dallas and Tampa Bay. Thank you, Elliot. Great participation here in the chat. And man, do we only have one consensus play, Thomas? Man, I'm sorry. I'm letting us down here. I can't get us. I thought I saw some others, but hey, gang, it looks like the Flyers, we didn't talk about that game, but they're getting steamed a little bit right now. It hasn't come across as an official play, but the tote board lit up there. I'm showing the Flyers up to $1.60 or higher at a lot of books right now. We're seeing some move there, and they've dominated the Blackhawks in their series, certainly. So, all right, let's see here. We could add the Kraken. Was it a consensus there? I don't know if it was it? Okay. All right. I don't want to force it. I mean, we don't get one, we don't get one. And I'll save $3. All right, we got to get this show over with here with the Rangers here taking on the Oilers tonight in this one. And, man, I've got another underdog I think that I want to look at here with the Rangers on the road in this one. Quickly, college football, I got some big steam here coming in here with the Ole Miss Florida game. We're seeing some steam here right now at 55.5 here in this one with Ole Miss right now taking steam in their matchup here with Florida. This one was 55 earlier in the week, and now we're seeing it move higher here with Mississippi and Florida. Game total moving over here on some widely reported steam up to 56 or so or higher right now. All right, we got to get out of here. Rangers and Edmonton. I'm taking the underdog Rangers here in this one. The widely reported steam did come in on the Oilers here in this one, but I'm going to take the Rangers here as a dog. And we got a little bit. I want to get to the college basketball because there's a steam move right now on. Okay, first of all, Lehigh just got steamed in that matchup with Lafayette, as I just mentioned. So Lehigh gets steamed. But college basketball here, real quick. This one is at the top of the hour. Marquette and Georgia. Georgia just got steamed at +7 or so. It's down to 6.5 here. They already steamed the under with Marquette and Georgia here. Marquette -6.5. It's probably up to 7. The total in the game, let me get it here. This is our preview, by the way, right now. The total here is 151 or so, but let's call it 7. I'm going to call it 6.5 still. 6.5 and 151. It was a little bit lower. I guess I didn't see the gradual move there to Marquette early on, but a big game here. Both teams come in 5-0 right now in this one, and I think probably this one's being played a neutral site game in the Bahamas. I've got Georgia here as my play on the show. Next up, real quick, I got 2 more games in college basketball and we're done. We got to go, you guys. Cincinnati here in their matchup with Georgia Tech. We just talked about some steam that came in on Cincinnati here, and I think I probably can get behind this. I like Cincinnati to roll here against Georgia Tech. And real quick here, Stanford is taking on Santa Clara tonight. Stanford on the road is a 1.5 point favorite in this one, but I've got to take Santa Clara here at home to win this game tonight. All right, let's get ready. Hopefully you're entered in with the drawing. This show is over. Sorry it went so fast, but we just feel proud to follow that UFC coverage in here tonight. Make sure if you want more plays from me today, maybe it's a little trick I've played on you, or if you want them anyway, go over to winnable.com and check out my plays over there. Just a couple bucks a day, $20 a month, $8 a week. You can get my best plays over at winnable.com. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20%. All right. Hopefully everyone's entered into the drawing here right now. I guess it's a 2-teamer at this point, unfortunately. Thomas will give us the lowdown here in this one, but everyone who's entered into the chat, hey, Sports Money wants to be into the chat. Hey, if Sports Money wins, I win, because I already entered in the first comment under the Sports Money handle. Go look at the top of the chat, boss. All right, here we go. Let's have the drawing and see who's going to win. Here, there's 40 entries today, and then we're out of here. Thank you guys so much for a fun day. And yeah, we didn't go in depth as much, but we've had a fun morning. So here we go with the drawing today. Oh, give me the right panel or Mikey's going to fire me. There we go. Here we go. Joey, Kirk, Public Enemy, Wine Time, Dana, Julian, Peasy, VB's in it, Markel, Moneyball, Elliot, Nate, Sir, Public Enemy. You know it. Another first-time winner of the, right? If I'm not mistaken, we've had a first-time winner every time. So Public Enemy is up for that 2-teamer here today with the Kraken, and it was a college football play. I might have to look it up, and maybe you guys, Colorado. Colorado and the Kraken, a 2-teamer, and go ahead and run up the score there on the number of hits. And, well, wouldn't be too big of a payout here if we get 300 views. Obviously, we're only dealing with a couple of bucks, Public Enemy. But, hey, it's more about you and being our drawing winner, and that was really fun. All right, it's going to do it for the morning steam. Join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 a.m. Pacific for NFL action for sure. Tomorrow we'll have a great show previewing the NFL. All right. Thanks again to everyone in the chat. You guys did a great job today. Sorry it went so fast here today, but still had a great time. And I want to get to those games. If we didn't have these early college basketball games, I'd probably roll right through it. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here on the show. And hey, today'd be a great day to subscribe to the picks with such a heavy card here. I'm going to get at it. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Final.
Books can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.